Ford. That's an Nicholas Kerr.
Nicholas Kerr. Sure enough.
That's better.
Yep. What, Dave? Yeah.
I haven't heard from her all week. And it's like, oh, you're the top.
Yeah.
Everything you ever said about all your exes.
Right. Yeah.
It's yeah. You find out that people love telling on themselves.
And she's been online. I've seen her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today I looked this morning, I got on to see she missed me. Nope, I saw she was on. I was like, cool.
Bye, Felicia.
Here's
She
the-
gone.
that's a girl you were talking to. Go Ducks.
Good X. Well, hey, she gone. Back to Tinder. Dave, back to Tinder.
Back to Tinder Deep.
Dave, have you seen the Alabama Riverboat massacre? Whatever you want to call
Massacre.
it. We're gonna definitely talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that shit. I've been sending Jake all of the little clips I see on it because I'm like,
yeah.
it's so good. If I'm not sharing, then what am I doing with my life?
I'll definitely say it again on the podcast, but like I know what would have happened if I were there. Like I would have shown up for the fight and definitely caught some friendly fire from the first part from a couple of the black dudes because they would have just punched me because I'm a white guy.
Just white, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no, wait, I'm with you, I'm with you.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, the white dudes were completely wrong.
Well, didn't you send me a thing that said that it was not the first time that this boat has had problems with these people?
Because I've watched so many different clips on things. I found one with somebody that was on that boat, and they were talking about how this is not the first time they've had problems with people parking their boats there. And then it's not the first time that they've had problems with that specific boat and that specific group parking there.
Because it's a spot for the riverboat, yeah?
Right, because it's got their little dock thingy so that they can offload and onload people. I think the guy said disembarkment or something.
Yeah, disembarkment is your term for getting off a boat.
Yes. But yeah, like the riverboat has like 200 people on it, and they're like, we've been on here long enough. Can we go? Can we go? Did I send you the one with the band playing the music?
No, maybe you did and I didn't see it.
There was a band on there, and they're like, move the boat, just move the boat, baby. It was pretty good.
That's pretty funny.
Just move the boat, baby.
Don't move the boat.
Don't move the boat.
boat.
Don't move the boat.
That reminds me of being on Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island, yeah.
People don't realize how long Long Island is.
Long Island isn't too fucking long. That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. You go from the Great South Bay to, maybe down towards Manhattan or somewhere down there. And, it's not too, a couple hours. You ever disrespect me looking like a...
I don't know. That guy, I haven't seen him making videos in a while.
Yeah, maybe he got shot. Maybe someone disrespected him looking like a guy with a gun.
Looking like a guy who's loaded. He's like, I'm packing.
He's like, yo, don't you ever disrespect me. Pop, pop, pop. Yo.
Disrespected. Hey.
Yeah, the thing that I really I saw behind the curtain of like all the TikToks and everything. There's like one that was supposed to look like guy on the street, totally random incident, and it's like, hey man, what are you listening to? He's like, On Top of Spaghetti by Sesame Street. It's a banger, and he walks off, and everything's funny. Well, I saw that dude on like a different comedian's TikTok, like telling jokes, and I'm like, you motherfuckers, you're out here.
There's a lot
staging
of
shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
So like
believe
at this
anything
point now, most of the time, if I see something start before something happens, like if someone just happens to catch the beginning of something going on, I assume it's fake.
Yeah. Well, that's why the riverboat thing is so good, because you don't see the start. You see kind of the start. Like the first one you see is the one dude who was working go over there, and yeah, that's like 3-4 minutes into the whole incident where the
Yeah.
hat gets tossed. Like the whole thing is he goes over to that boat and he's like, "Hey, move your fucking boat," and they're like, "Nah." And he's like, "All right, I'll move it," and starts untying their shit from the dock. And
Yeah.
like he's gonna move it. And they're like,
Because
"Hey,
they're
you
on the
can't
water,
fucking
you
do
just
that."
push
Yeah,
it.
it's just a boat. Just yeah. Oh, it's so good. That's the fucking guy with the chair.
Michael B. Phelps was my favorite.
I liked Aquaman.
Aquaman, that's a good
You've
one.
seen that one?
Yeah.
There's a good video that was like when you see him throw the hat, it was this guy, he like reacts to it, he's like, oh, and like he turns into like the different characters. Pretty good. And then I don't know how many I've seen where they've used the Avengers theme song.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Ta-da.
na, na, na. Yeah, exactly. That shit's funny.
I
So
really
good.
like I really like the reaction of the what did he say?
Are you talking about my video or different?
Just in general, like
Oh,
I've
in
seen that
general,
in
it
other
is
ones,
pretty
but yeah,
funny. Yeah.
yeah, like the one that you sent of like, yeah, a lot of men tell me how good my squeeze is.
What
What
did
did
he
he say?
say? Oh, Dave, you've got some Snapchats to watch. I sent some just to you from the fair.
Okay.
Oh, there's sluts.
There was one, at least one, probably a couple.
I
The
saw the
dude
blonde.
fucking standing there. So I'm watching this. Riv gets on this ride. It's not a ride. It's like not like a fun house, but kind of like the Adventure Time one. It's like Indiana Jones or whatever. I'm sure you've
Oh,
seen.
okay. Yeah, there's like
And
a house of mirrors and shit or whatever.
yeah, I mean it's more like playground stuff, but it's got the wobbly bridge you run
Oh,
across
okay, yeah,
and like the
yeah.
really long slide. And I'm watching the guy and he's like scans the tickets and then he just goes back to this. It's like, and I'm like, bro,
Are you
what are
drunk?
you on and why are you not sharing? No, he was high as shit. Like he was super high and not on weed. He was
Alright, let's see what
enjoying
he's-
himself.
Yeah, that. Oh yeah, I
If
remember
one of
that.
these-
You said
I
that.
was gonna ask, hey, is I was gonna say, if one of these is my ex, I'm throwing my phone.
No, I did not see any. I almost thought I saw one of them, but
One of them, yeah, right? That's the other thing. Which one?
I did not. I did see a.
Which
Yeah.
one?
I saw a chick that was a teacher at Myrtle Creek that she was kind of hot. We're still friends on Facebook, because that's a thing. And I saw her, but she was with a dude, and I was like, oh, disappointing.
This guy's sipping his drink and then being like,
Yeah, dude. He's fucking high as shit.
hey, yeah, Legos.
Oh,
Jurassic
did you
Park
see
and
that?
Star Wars.
Yeah,
That one's
I was
red.
like singing. I was like, like that's brilliant. They took the whole scene of the T-Rex going through the fence, and then they added in Obi-Wan with a lightsaber and stormtroopers. So it's like episode 1 or 2 kind of thing. Episode 2. Yeah.
Was it you who sent me the thing that was talking about like if you truly understand the Force, then everything that happens, like you can predict what will happen over the course of Star Wars as you watch it?
I don't know if I sent you that, but I've seen it.
Yeah. Because like he's essentially saying that like it's not about the light side winning. It's never been about the light side winning.
Yeah.
It's always been about bringing
Balance.
balance to the Force.
Mhm.
And so if you just think, and he broke it down. He's like, well, you see, at this point, when Darth Sidious created Darth Vader, it created it created an imbalance of 2 over here on the dark side. So when Luke was born, there had to be a balance. Therefore, you had Leia, so there's 2 on the light side. And I was like, that shit's crazy.
Mhm.
And then like the lore behind shit, like the reason why Yoda wasn't able to figure out that what was going on is because like a Jedi temple had been desecrated by like certain Sith, and so like it's actually like canon to the storyline of why Yoda can't figure the shit out until he does. But like unless you know, there's no way like that. Star Wars is crazy in that way. Like
Right.
the lore is pretty much fan canon for the most part.
Well, Dave Filoni, since he's taken over, he kind of talked George Lucas into going with his ideas, and Dave Filoni is a big fan of being a fan. I don't
Yeah.
know how else to put it. Like
Mhm.
he loves that shit. So
I feel like it's way more intricate than just good versus evil. The whole
Yeah.
good versus evil story. Sorry, I don't know if you said that. I was watching those TikToks.
Yeah.
I didn't get through all of them, but you guys were talking about Star Wars, so I stopped.
yeah. You didn't miss much.
I
You
did
got
like
the
Riv
gist.
freaking out because you kept leaning over.
Like, yeah, we're in that Ferris wheel, and I realized it tilted side to side, so I'm like, oh, and she's like, ah!
Oh, don't do it.
And then
Oh,
if I just leaned forward, the whole
Yeah.
thing would like shift, and she's on a seat on a bench. Will it tilt her forward? Oh, she was losing her shit. And I didn't realize that I just don't give a fuck because I just have been on enough rides my whole life. I'm like, this
Right.
is just a ride.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
They're-
die. They're always
designed-
sketchy.
They're
It's
designed
funny
to do a
too.
specific thing like tilt at that angle.
Right.
It's funny too because like I went to Les Schwab today and Inside Edition was on because there's always trash TV on at Les Schwab.
Yeah.
And like oh my god. They were talking about so many different fucking I totally lost my train of thought. What were we just talking about?
Inside Edition, trash TV shows.
Right before that.
Oh, that's
Riv freaking out about the
Oh
fair
yeah,
rides.
they're talking about how like two kids have flown off of like roller coasters and shit like in the last week. Like
Just
one of them
two?
was yeah, like one of them was like 6, the other one was 10, and like had a broken pelvis and shit. But it's like, yeah, you know, when they say your kid's not tall enough, they mean it.
There's a reason.
Yeah. Right. Also, these are dangerous things that we've engineered to the best safety standards that we could create.
Right.
But there's still dangerous things that humans who make mistakes are trying to make safe.
Yeah.
So like you take a little bit of it into your own hands, like that's how it is. When you do stupid things, sometimes bad things happen.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a Daniel Tosh bit when he was talking about the girl who broke her leg and on like kicking some guy's head like on the roller coaster.
Oh, kicked his
And
head
it's-
off.
Yeah, it's like, can you imagine? He's like, the worst part about that is like you go back to school in September and everybody wants to know, oh, how'd you break your leg?
I punted a dude's head off of his shoulders.
Oh, wow.
If I broke my leg in such an elaborate way like that, I would go to the administration and be like, can I just have 2 minutes like before our
I need to make an announcement.
I need to make an announcement. Just say it once.
I would like to get this over with, please. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Do like the student news in the morning when the principal gets on the PA
Right.
system. And
Like-
this morning,
How
we got some news
Mikey
straight from
broke his
Six
leg.
Flags Vallejo.
I heard when we were talking about it, I heard the Jerry Seinfeld bit where he's talking about how humans don't stop doing dangerous things. They just find ways to make it a little safer. Like the guy who wears the helmet when he goes skydiving. Bro, if your chute doesn't open, the helmet is wearing you at that point. Like you just good luck.
Yeah, it's like driving's not exactly safe.
No.
Right. Well, it's
Especially
like I watch some parents, right? They don't want their kids doing anything dangerous. Like don't climb that tree or don't climb that rock or like shit. Like you got to do that kind of stuff sometimes. Just get hurt sometimes.
You got to go be a kid. It's like that line from The Sandlot when like the mom is telling the kid, go outside, run around, climb trees, scrape your knees, get dirty, get into trouble. Like not too much trouble, but get into trouble. Like
Yeah.
I
it's
can
kind
hear
of
that Green Onion song now.
yeah. It's kind of funny. Like Mia is starting to show an interest in street art and graffiti and shit. And so we've just been doing little doodles and stuff. And I'm like, well, if you want to do this, there's two important things that you need to talk about. One is know that graffiti is not a jailable offense in Seattle, therefore, or the state of Washington. So you're good there. Number two, you are also going to be enrolled in track in the spring, and we are going to get you in the 400, the hurdles, and the high jump.
Yep.
I like it.
You're doing triathlons now. Welcome
Yep.
to Ironman.
welcome to the steeplechase. Like,
Yeah.
Or in Seattle, it's just the people chase.
Hey.
well, also like I showed her pole vault, and she's like, "Oh, I want to do that." I'm like, "Yeah, like you're not like everybody is too afraid of the pole vault, and I guarantee you, you will get on varsity track if you just pole vault."
Yeah. Because nobody wants to do it. You got to be
Yeah.
really fucking strong too.
The upper body's got to be ridiculous.
Upper body and core.
Or yeah.
I got an eye twitch.
Not it.
I got an iPhone.
Oh yeah. That was pretty funny, Robin. Take a bow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Blue bubbles.
Take a bow.
Take a bow.
Oh my god.
How long has he been in pain? Not too long. Like a week.
Jake, I'm enjoying that our beards are getting as long, like they're
kinda the
getting
same.
long.
Yeah,
We're letting them go.
well, here's
No
the
more
deal, right?
short-
Like coming up for the duck game, I got to trim it short because I'm going to be outside in the sun for like 11 hours. So I can't have like
Why?
It's not. It's fine.
I don't know. Does
It
it get
doesn't
hot?
make a difference. No, it doesn't get hot.
Really.
Hot
No.
face.
And if you keep it for so long, you just get used to it. Like if you were to go outside and sit in the sun and then immediately go nah, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm cooler now. But you're not gonna.
It shades you more than anything. Like
I
it's,
legitimately feel the difference in the wintertime, like when I don't have it. And like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
right.
If I shave in the winter, I'm sick for 2 weeks. Like
So
it's instant.
the hair is
instantly
your
get
germ
sick,
defender.
right?
That's
Well,
true.
actually, so
That's like science. That's
yep. So I did a report and a 15-minute speech on the health benefits of growing a beard, and basically germ protection. What's that word?
immunity. No.
Like in cloth, when they say something is like a shirt doesn't hold germs. What's that word?
Antimicrobial.
Yeah, like it's kind of like that, and also in your beard, if you don't wash it with harsh soaps all the time, the
Mhm.
natural oils actually act as an SPF like 20, I think it is.
Hmm.
So having a beard actually helps protect the rest of your face from sunburn as well.
I would
There we
say
go.
like in the last year I stopped washing and conditioning mine because I'm like, it's expensive and just.
Mhm.
I
Well,
just-
and
I just hit it with
do
the head
whole-
and shoulders occasionally.
when I remember when we lived together, Robin, I got really into all the beard.
Oh yeah,
beard
you had
shits.
all the fucking beard
Like,
oils
yeah,
all the time.
I had specific beard
Pomades
shampoos,
and fucking
Right,
3 different
right.
combs.
because I thought I needed to have all that stuff to have a good beard.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and-
that's because that's what beardlovers.com told you needed.
Exactly, right? As a 25-year-old guy that had never wasn't allowed to grow a beard for years. All right, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a good beard. This is what the internet says I need to do. No, like
Just
when
let
I
it grow.
do wash it with soap, I use
Let it
the same
grow.
shampoo that I use on my head.
Yep.
I don't use cheap shampoo, but that's also because I have skin conditions.
Yep. Yep.
But it works just fine for my beard. My beard stays soft because yes, I balm it and I oil it, but I'm not spending $50 a month like I used to.
That's
I
a lot
don't-
of maintenance
time.
for a
Mhm.
beard.
I got us a light for the backyard.
Noise.
Yeah.
That reminds me
me?
so much of my dad's shop in the first house we lived in when I was
just
very
just
young.
a tree with a fucking shop light in it.
Well, the light itself, not so much the tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight. That's where
That's their
you go for
Halloween
Halloween.
store. Yeah,
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight. $18. and you
Oh.
can connect 8 of them. So when I get my shed eventually someday built, actually I'm gonna go get wood for it Saturday, and I can just use these lights. Oops, and get some more of them,
Mhm.
and then
And they're great. I used them in my ex's garage.
Mhm.
She had some old ones put up, old I can't think of words today.
You got aphasia.
The
Ballast. Do
yeah,
this some more.
old ballast,
Ballast.
old ballast. What are they called?
Navy blowjob.
The old tube lights like they used to use in incandescent,
Fluorescent.
fluorescent. Yeah,
There we go.
she
She's in
she
there.
had a bunch of old ones in there. So her dad, who's an electrician, and I cut them all out, and then he showed me how to put them all up, which I was kind of against at first because I was kind of like, I'm gonna do this by myself because I've got to prove that I don't need him to do this.
Now you're a man.
Yeah.
A
Well,
mile.
mostly because he's like a master electrician, so I was like, no, I think I can figure this out. Like that was also just the stubborn part of me. And then we were at the house, and he was installing some overhead fans,
Now
some
it's
ceiling
a
fans
fan. A
that they had
fan,
got her.
fan, fan.
Right? And he just looked at me and says, "Hey, what about those lights in the shop?" And I was like, "Fuck it, you're here. You've already installed like 6 things today, so
Yeah,
let's go
why
do
not?
this."
God damn it.
When did Harbor Freight turn the corner from being the land of shit tools to actually having decent stuff?
They never did. It's just that everyone got over the fact that it was cheap.
So
Like
it
they,
wasn't them improving. It
Yeah.
was that people
Everything
There's
just
our standards
realized.
lowering.
Kinda. It was
Yeah.
COVID because everybody was like, "Hey, we've got time. Let's work on some shit. We don't want to spend all this money on tools. Let's try Harbor Freight. It's good enough for us, so
Yeah.
let's
For
do
one
it."
job, yeah.
if you're not a professional, might as well go to Harbor Freight and get the tool that you're going to use maybe twice in your life for a quarter of the price. And they've
That's
got
fair.
cool gadgets in there.
They do have a lot of cool things.
Like I have a little like a ratchet set, not a ratchet set. It's a ratcheting tool, but you know, like on drills when you have to lock in the bit, and
Yeah.
it's got the old school. I got one of those at Harbor Freight for like $4. Found it at Home Depot for 12.
Mhm.
So like it does the same exact job. I use it once every 6 months if I'm doing a project because I don't do a whole that much work. Like I have all those tools that when I was doing construction last summer, and now they sit in a box in my garage.
You can bring them over here. I'll use them.
Okay.
I'll charge them. I was actually gonna buy an Impact just so I could do that shit wirelessly or cordlessly, but then I realized I don't care that much. So
was
I'll
thinking-
just use the
I got one of those big
dildos.
yep,
Yeah.
it's huge.
Do this again.
Double-handed. Oh, remember we were at Harbor Freight up in Eugene and we found that one tool and I was walking around telling people, or we'd made that video where I was like,
I was gonna say I bet I have the video still.
I have it somewhere. What was I talking about? Oh, I've got a big drill that so if you need to bore out big holes, I've got a giant drill that I got at Harbor Freight for like $30 that I used to mix concrete or mixed when I was doing tile work over at my ex's house.
Oh, nice.
So because I had one and it burned out, and I was like, oh man, this thing's burnt out. It's also like 20 years old. Well, I'll go to Harbor Freight and spend some money.
All right, I'm gonna find it. I'm using the location thing where it shows you.
Oh
the
yeah, that's how I find.
map.
That's how I always find pictures too because it's so much easier.
Like
and
it's got to
scroll.
be in here somewhere.
It's
Yeah.
like on the Springfield side.
Yeah, I'm looking. No, it was the Eugene side because it was the one out West 11th.
Oh, yep.
Over by the big Y.
Well, I found West 11th. I got a lot of Autzen pictures. Weird.
It's the big Y.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Maybe I don't have it. Hey, now you're a mile.
I really want to find it now too.
I know. Oh, it could be because it was on Snapchat and I just saved it.
Mm.
So it might not have the location, but I do still want to find it. It looks like we were playing soccer. Hey, when did she? Oh, that's Easter egg hunt. There's Dave with his hat on.
An Easter egg cunt.
It's like, it's like This is for that Michael Aguera.
I was scrolling through a bunch of pictures and I found my old chicken hunter videos from when we lived at Sulphur
Oh my
Springs.
god.
My hair was all long, my beard's all
Yeah.
shitty, and I smoked, so I just constantly had a cigarette hanging out of my lip.
Is that the emo Dave?
No, that was post 9/11, Dave.
Post 9/11 Dave.
Speaking of
Where were
9/11?
you?
Oh, that was post Navy day. Like when we were first living in the house, and I just let my hair.
Yeah.
I didn't get a haircut or get my shave for a long time, and I had my bangs came down and they did that circle thing around my eyes because it was so long.
You had very Asian hair.
Yeah.
Anime hair.
Mm-hmm.
I went too far. I found a Jick Jack video. I don't know what that is.
Nope.
I don't know what that.
Hey, look, here's a bunch of pictures of me being skinny.
It's a kid getting hit in the face with a dodgeball.
Dude, every time the I'm Dave Deaton and this is the news video comes up, like we all look so like the two of you guys look so fucking young.
Right.
It was a while ago.
It really hurts.
Does.
I had the realization the other day that I'm as old as Robin was when you met me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was a minute ago or two.
It's kind of funny how the stations in the tailgate just like continue.
Right.
Like we now have the 30 something or the almost 30 something Bailey, the freshly 21 Ben.
Wait, go sideways.
Ah yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer. I got Dave. What is Dave doing?
What is Dave
Oh
doing?
my
Finding the line?
I don't know what's going on there.
I'm drinking.
Definitely, there's some drinking going on.
That was probably heavy drinking tailgating, Dave.
Okay, I'm getting to the right area because I'm finding construction videos.
How's Shul, Dave? What classes are you failing this term?
Math and astrology.
Astrology?
No, astronomy. The actual science, not the pseudoscience.
That you're like
I found it.
trying to bang chicks.
I found it.
Yeah.
I think I remember that video. It's like the Ass Blaster 4000 or something.
David Deaton, and I test out Heracles.
What?
Hi, I'm Dave Deaton. Is your dick small and your thrust game weak? Just throw a 12-inch on this bad boy and fuck her brains out.
Fuck her brains out. That reminded me of that Robert Frank dude who's like, if you want to get some
Dick small and your thrust game weak, just throw a 12-inch on this bad boy and fuck her brains out. Whenever I hear that video and I pause, I think of Michael Scott saying, sometimes I start a sentence thinking that I'll figure out where it's going to go, but sometimes I don't.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sending that to people.
All right, man.
Hey!
Hey!
Are you ready for a good ass show?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Cool. All right, here we are. We're back again. It's another edition. It's another episode of my show. Robin's lost something over there. Found it. Fixed it.
Yep,
Lug
like
nut.
that.
Like that. Ain't got no gas.
Ain't got no gas in it. We are joined by the man with the grayest beard of the three of us. A man wearing sunglasses as though he's about to go complain about those people on Facebook. It's Dave.
I'm also the brownest.
Wait. Dana's calling.
Dana!
Daner.
Hello?
Inside. I don't fit in here. I already know what you're gonna say, and I didn't hear it. I need to hear you tell me what I need to hear.
What do you need to hear? Yeah, why are you not home here? Like, get home.
We are 14 seconds into the show, and this is the Dana mental breakdown.
Well, just show up.
There's a game in like 3 weeks.
I like that too. Because I fuck with dumbass bitch dudes that are gross. Because I fuck with gross ass dudes.
I mean, yes.
So gross. That
mean-
disappoints me.
It's not my choice. I wouldn't touch them, but you know.
I wouldn't fuck gross ass dudes.
Yeah, I only fuck clean dudes.
You find the line.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll call you later.
Okay. See ya.
One more time.
Yeah, get home now.
Do it. I'm here.
So anyway,
So anyways, I'm gonna call Dana real quick.
Dave's on the rebound.
she's like, I'm so drunk and I just need to come home. Tell me I need to come home.
Yeah.
She definitely wants to be back.
She does. Like, I don't know why she doesn't.
Well, she doesn't want to be around her kid's dad. Like, just the fact that he's around, I guess, is, I don't know. You've met her. She has mental problems, man.
Mercurial. But
So-
he's the man who took a phone call right at the beginning of the podcast to let everybody know that Dana's drunk.
Yep.
It's Robin.
Yep, you're goddamn right it is. Because who else is going to do that? I mean, Dave might.
Dave
Sure.
might.
Jake might.
I might.
Imagine if Alex called in. You guys
If
remember
Alex
that
ca-
guy?
If Alex called me right now, I would do the same thing, and he'd be like, "I'm so drunk.
so
Tell me I need to
drunk.
be back on the
Tell
podcast
me I need
again."
to be single. Sorry. Anyway.
Anyway,
I was introduced by the one who is now the same age now that I was when I met him. Bringing it back around, it's the hoop snake known as Jake.
touch it,
Circle
touch
of
it.
life.
Let us gingerly touch our tips.
It doesn't work. Too
Because it
bad.
work. Yeah,
So
it's
put your tip
me.
inside of my tip.
One take. Well, that only works at. Well, I guess never mind. Back in the saddle
Saw a
again.
video once.
When two gay men have sex, how do they know whose penis will open up to accept the other guy's penis?
Oh, Dwight. There's so
Sorry.
much to learn. Yeah, so here we are. We've got a couple things on the docket to talk about, which is usually good enough for our show.
Right?
Right off the jump, we got to talk about the thing that everybody's been talking about. The oh gosh, what is the name? Montgomery, Alabama.
The Riverboat Brawl.
Riverboat Brawl. Now they said we couldn't call things like the Riverboat Shootout things or things like that anymore in college football, but apparently you can still have a Riverboat Brawl in
Yeah, I know.
Montgomery.
Just like we don't have a civil war anymore.
Yeah.
We just have the Oregon State game. So if we're not in the Pac-12, can we call it the Civil War again?
Civil War again.
I think it's still
There you
offensive
go.
to pussies.
So I'm going to send you guys something. We'll get back to what we were talking about because I have an idea of what's going to happen to the Oregon and Oregon State rivalry.
Is it
And
related to the Washington Redskins?
It's not.
Oh, because I got something that brings that. But anyway, finish your thing, and then I'll come back to that.
It's essentially what happened when the rules changed in the NCAA and you couldn't helicopter people out to your school any longer. So schools like Idaho and Washington State really suffered from that. And schools like Boise State really benefited from that because you can fly directly into Boise.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what I just sent to you guys was up until this point, the rivalry was pretty one-sided for Idaho. They had a 12-game win streak at one point in this rivalry. And then starting in 1999, when all the changes started coming down into the conference, Boise State went on a run, won 12 games in a row against their little brother, and just stopped playing them in 2010.
Wow.
And frankly, like, I can see that happening with Oregon and Oregon State, because unless the Big Ten goes to an 8-game conference schedule, Oregon already has its non-conference schedule set for the next 3 or 4 years. Like, and they would have to buy out a team like Baylor to not do that. And you're not going to not play Baylor.
They might be able to get out of like a Portland State or something, because I feel like they usually have at least one softball.
Their non-conference schedule is pretty stacked the next couple of years.
Mm.
I'll look that. You guys vamp. I'll
Yeah.
look up the Oregon non-conference schedule.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna go back to the thing I was gonna say about the Redskins. So the Civil War thing is what brought me into the Redskins.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember the NAGA, National Alliance of. It's basically the
NAS.
Native Americans. Oh, Native Americans, something. Native American group. They have started to threaten to file a petition, and the words they used were Bud Light style thing to force the Commanders to switch back to the Redskins, because the Native Americans never
They don't
disliked.
care.
They didn't dislike the Redskins. They liked the name because, it's cool. We got the Redskins. That's us. Like,
Yeah.
they get it. They don't care what you call them. It's whatever label it is. It's not what they called themselves. So what's the difference?
What is the BOIA? Do you know?
BOIA. I've heard it.
Bureau
Yes.
of Indian Affairs.
Yep, there it is.
Oh.
What does the what tribe is associated with Seven Feathers? Is it the Muckleshoot? No, that's
the
up here.
Umpqua band of the Cow Creek Indians, or Cow Creek band of the Umpqua Indians. One of the two. It's one of
There it
those.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the official building up here in Kent, in Kent, the Puyallup Indians have it. It just says the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, Cow Creek.
this
They go
weird-
by Indians. Yeah.
It's this
exactly.
this weird thing that it's happening almost in reverse, where removing all of these characters from our advertising and things like that is removing representation for people of color, in all honesty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like, what, like, was yes, Aunt Jemima was drawn in the mammy sort of way, but does the sense of Aunt Jemima, like, I don't know. I didn't do any research. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do feel as though there's.
Sorry.
I want to say the whole Aunt Jemima thing was based off the creator's nanny or something like that. Like, she was a mammy styled woman. That's how she dressed. That's how, when think of that, like what a mammy is, that's what she was. That's who helped raise them. And I'm again, that's not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
I'm trying to find the story that I watched, because it literally was the Native American group of America. Maybe that's what it was. They literally said, we want that name back. And if you guys are ever going to change the name from the Commanders, which they've already suggested
They're
the new
probably
ownerships are going to do, yeah, then they want it back to be the Redskins. So
the Guardians should go back to the Indians.
Yeah, I still haven't acknowledged the Guardians. You said the Guardians, and had you not said Indians, I would have been really confused what you were talking about, because I forgot.
When I play the show and the Guardians come up, I'm like, I don't like their G with the whatever their symbol. I'm like,
what
what
is that?
Unless it's of the galaxy, then I'm not acknowledging.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched that.
What'd you think?
It's pretty good.
It's very sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion in it.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of we learn Rocket's true backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I guess I don't understand if he's if he's like the world's smartest being, essentially. How come he doesn't know what a raccoon is?
Well, he's not like omnipresent. Like, he's only been to Earth like once?
Twice.
So how come, like, yeah, people are like, you're a raccoon, and he's like, I'm not a raccoon.
Well, for his whole life though, he didn't know that he was a raccoon, I guess, because he'd never seen any other raccoons. But if all the other animals are from Earth, like turtles, and like when they train, or that turtle in the movie gets transformed or whatever.
Yeah, turned into Leonardo.
Like, he knows that's a Ninja Turtle, right? So Why doesn't he know that he's a raccoon? I don't know.
That was that, and then he was like
That is
saw
an
all
odd
the
question.
he saw all the baby raccoons, and then he was like, "Oh my God, I remember when I was a baby raccoon with a whole bunch of other baby raccoons." I don't know. It just seemed weird. Also, Groot can apparently just decide to grow as quickly as he wants, which is
Yeah.
what I always thought was the deal.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I think when he got destroyed down into like the first one when they had to grow him back to baby Groot, I think that was
A plot device.
like too much. Yeah, obviously a plot device. But I mean, like they had to do something. They were like, well, let's do this. And then
Can't keep him as teenage or small Groot for this last movie. Wasn't it you, Robin, that brought up the fact that it was confirmed that Groot is not the original Groot from the first movie because he's basically a type of offspring?
No, I've never heard that.
Well,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, it's the whole ship of Theseus thing.
Continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the ship of Theseus, like I replaced a board every year, and after 100 years, there were none of the boards were the same. Was it the same ship as the ship that it was before?
Mm-hmm.
That's like cars. You could
Yeah.
go when I had my second Miata. I still titled it as my first Miata. I just took the VIN number off the dash, put it on the new one, and swapped the engine, which apparently that was a replacement engine. So it didn't even have the right like I was like, no one's gonna care. And then when I sold it, I told the guy, I'm like, hey, that VIN number on the dash, just don't let anyone check it. It matches your title. Just you're good. He's like, all right. He didn't give a shit. Yeah.
Just don't
off
do
he
illegal things in this car.
Yeah. And it'll get traced back to nowhere.
Be like, what is this VIN? Like, what is this? Wrigley Field, Chicago Cubs.
Yep. That was it.
But yes, anyway, as you're saying,
we're back. Like we started with the Civil War Redskins thing, and then Guardians of the Galaxy.
we're talking about Groot being
Guardians.
being a different offspring Groot, and Dave was about to enumerate.
Oh no, I had heard somewhere that it was confirmed that because the reason why Groot as bigger Groot in the third one doesn't look anything like Groot in the first one is because he's technically an offspring of Groot from the
I
first.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he
that's
wanted to
why
look more like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
That's why he looks so different. Like he looks the same, but it's just
Different.
like you can tell. Like original Groot was tall and like slender,
And
whereas
this one was
Groot
like-
is, stock is not as tall and just kind of Vin Diesel-y, like you said, Jake.
I just thought it was because he was like still an adolescent. Like
Yeah, could be.
It could be too, but like I said, I want to say I'm about 80% sure I heard that somewhere that it was confirmed. That
I
he's
believe
a
it. James Gunn, he would do something like that.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
here
about right.
my official full-blown review. I still like the fight scenes are still rad. I love every time when it's time to fight to Blitzkrieg Bop or whatever song we're doing it to this time. I'm here for it. I absolutely love that shit.
Yeah.
I want to know why they ever try to fight anyone individually.
It's the same thing that happens when we play DMZ. We're stupid and we get distracted. We think, oh yeah, I can just go after these guys. Like you'll go after a whole squad by yourself, and then you're like, hey, I'm down. Where you guys at?
Yeah, right.
And then
That's fair.
it's our own fault. Like it's just that's how people are dumb. Unless they're working as a group and they know they're working as a group, it's gonna happen.
I do just get tired of them, like the secret ingredient being teamwork. Like we can't beat this guy, but if we
The
all
Marvel.
punch him at the same time, we can beat him.
Yep.
Did you see that James Gunn said Star-Lord wouldn't have punched Thanos? So remember when they're trying to get the fucking Infinity Gauntlet off, and he's like, "Where is Gamora?" And then he's like, "My Gamora," and then he punches him. James Gunn's like, Star-Lord wouldn't have punched him because he didn't write that.
Oh yeah. Well, did
I
you
thought
ever
James
play?
Gunn. Oh, was that when he was on Bad Behavior?
He'd written a bunch of stuff for him, but he didn't write. I guess he didn't write that part. I'd
you
heard
ev-
he wrote the dialogue though.
Jake, did you ever happen to play the Guardians of the Galaxy game on Xbox?
I played part of it. Like I just got started into it, and then I stopped because something else happened.
Okay, that's fair because that's exactly what I did. I just got kind of far into it and then stopped. But when you bring up the fact that like teamwork is the secret ingredient, you
Mhm.
can literally be in a battle in that game, and then you hit like you charge your superpower thing and you hit RB and LB at the same time, and like they all the characters come together and they're like they take a knee, and then there's like a scripted like you pick different words
Right.
to try to make a motivational speech, and depending on if you pick the correct
How motivational
sequence
you
of
are.
words, yeah, it'll change, it'll upgrade all the characters to be stronger or less strong. If you
Fucking-
do all the wrong words, they all get weaker after the talk, and they literally like in the talk they're like, well, that was useless, let's get back to fighting.
It's fucking Guardians of the Mad Libs over there.
Right? It's actually pretty fun. So like when you hit the buttons and you get in, like they all say something.
Mm-hmm.
They all say a short phrase.
You guys ever have shawarma?
You guys have shawarma? And then the
"Ah,
bubbles
my
will
ass is
come up
getting
and you
kicked out
have to
there."
pick the right one that matches kind of what they said or argue against them to make it more motivational.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like
like, that's-
what LA Noir was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's playing Galaga.
Didn't
Thought
think
we
we'd
wouldn't
see it.
notice.
Yeah, thought we wouldn't notice.
That's a nice little Easter egg for those who are unaware that like the whole him playing Galaga and then or Space Invaders. And then the Space Invaders coming in from the sky at the end of the movie. It's a nice little end hangs on the beginning.
Oh, also the bad guy, the creator. Is that what his name was?
High
Mhm.
Evolutionary.
High
Yep.
Evolution. Probably the bad guy I've hated the most.
What
out
you
of
mean?
all-
Like
Like,
hated
not
in the
hate-
sense that
hated
like, you
as
thought
in,
he was
like I'm supposed to hate him. Like he's the bad
Ah.
guy. I'm supposed to dislike him.
He was really
Like,
fucking
he's-
like dastardly. I don't know of a better
Yeah,
word, but like
right?
he
It's a
just
good word for it.
yeah.
He was really like, whereas like Thanos is like, yeah, that's a bad, like, don't get rid of half of the population. But he's got like this like weird sense that it's gonna save the rest of people.
He's
Or
got a
Thanos-
reason he's doing it.
Thanos is a megalomaniac. He's
Yeah.
a megalomaniac, yeah, and he
Whereas-
doesn't think he's a villain.
Whereas the High Evolutionary is just, he's like, well, I'm trying to make things better. What things are you trying to make better? Just
for
the
who?
animals? And what for? And it's for his own ego, so
That's
that he
it.
can feel like a god. And I'm like,
Mhm.
so when I watched that, I was like, this is the villain that I dislike the most.
Dude, when they fucking pull the Nick Cage on him and take his face off, I was
That
like,
was-
oh!
Like
I was-
in the fight, like parts of it starts like hanging off of
Yes.
his little clips. I'm like, oh, his face is
I
coming
was
off.
impressed with the makeup. Like that's
Mhm.
not very often do I go, man, that's a fucking good makeup / special effects. Like Good.
I liked it. My joke was he looked like a drag queen in just after a performance.
He
I
takes
thought
the
of-
wig off.
Yep, takes the wig off.
I thought of like a black RoboCop also.
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
can see Black RoboCop.
I would like to see Deadpool and him meet because I guarantee he pulls something
What
like
would-
that.
Black RoboCop, RoBroCop,
RoboCop.
RoBroCop.
Aquaman.
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 Oh my god, that's what we were talking about. Is that fucking riverboat battle?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
way
yeah.
back
god
when.
damn! Fucking hold on, that was 20 minutes ago.
That was 20 minutes ago. People are like, are they gonna ever talk about this?
That
fucking
was our
thing?
20-minute tangent. Sorry.
Welcome
that's
to my
tangent for
show.
one,
If you've never
right?
listened before,
Featuring Tangent.
I'm gonna just write down 20-minute tangent as the possible name for the episode.
yeah, that's up there with a 10-minute story about a 15-minute cutscene.
That was a good one. Oh my gosh. Anyway, the riverboat thing. So let's just, if you haven't seen the Montgomery, Alabama Riverboat Brawl, go
You
ahead
owe it
and
to
look
yourself.
look it up on
Pause
YouTube
the
because
show. Whatever you're
come
doing,
back to this.
we'll be here.
TikTok is like started to, you can't see the fights on it, but Twitter has it all or YouTube.
YouTube.
So
Yeah, you can't-
Sunday,
You can't fight on TikTok,
no,
but you can
that's-
show
can't
a
have-
war.
you can't have violence. I can't tell you how many times I've seen tits
But I can show you my
On
boob in the
TikTok.
reflection of a
Right.
mirror.
My favorite is these new videos. They're like doing this, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? What's that?
And then TikTok is like, oh, it's only one.
Yeah, they're like,
I
it's
saw
okay.
full boobage the other day. A lady went up to her kitchen sink, and she like the way the faucet was, it was wide, and it was just both boobs.
I can't
like,
tell you how many of those Jake and I have
perfect
sent
zero.
each other.
Yeah.
It's many. Because they just every time one of us finds one, we're like, oh, yeah,
Oh, here's another one.
Keep it up, internet.
Can you find this one? Anyway, so Sunday I'm scrolling through TikTok because there's nothing going on. I think I was waiting for Riv to show up. And
Classic.
right? Oh, and then I get a text, hey, oh here, I'll come back to that story. I'll come back to the Riv story after I tell this because I've already sidetracked myself 17 times. I see this thing. Have you seen what happened? That guy that dove in the water, blah. I'm like, what? And then so I look at the comments and it says Montgomery, Alabama Riverboat Brawl. And I was like, well, let's click on that. And then I see the start of it. And I was like, oh, so there's a riverboat cruise in Montgomery, Alabama. It was supposed to be from like 5 to 7. It was basically like a 2-hour cruise where there's booze
A
on it.
2-hour cruise.
There's music playing. There's live bands on there.
It's a booze cruise.
Yeah, it's a booze cruise. And it's on one of those giant paddle boat riverboats that you'd see in the movies. Like, you ever see that movie Maverick? Like
Hell
that.
yeah.
Yep.
The boat pulls up to the dock, but they can't park where they're supposed to because there's a pontoon boat parked there. So they're sitting there waiting. The band starts to play, move the boat. You got to move your boat. And so, like, basically, everybody's tired of this fucking shit. So one of the dudes gets off the boat somehow and gets onto the dock and is like, hey, can you guys move? Can you guys move? 5 times he asked them. After the 5th time, he goes over to their boat and unties it. And they're like, hey, don't touch our shit. And the dude who's working, black dude,
he's like, your shit is attached to my shit.
He's like, you guys need to move your shit. And the guys that own the pontoon boat, they're a bunch of white guys. They're like, nah, fuck you. And basically the black dude throws his fucking hat. Like
Bobby Shmurda.
It's so good. And the white guy's like, all right, let's fucking do this. And they start fighting. 5-on-1. They got the black dude down. They're kicking him. Some 16-year-old dude on the paddle boat is like, fuck that, dives in the water. It's probably like, I don't know, 30-yard swim. 25.
It's not a short swim.
It's a swim. You're not just jumping and just barely missing the dock. You're swimming. You know you're swimming. He's full committed. Dude swims over to the dock, and a bunch of people see this fight going on. They start coming over to help. Suddenly the odds are even. And now you've got a full, like, it's probably.
And then they weren't even. It went from 5-on-1 to like 30-on-5.
Well, there was a time, like a good minute or two, where it was even, and then everybody shows up, and I mean everybody. There's probably, like Jake said, 30 versus 5 or 7, and a dude grabs a plastic folding chair and starts swinging it. The cops had shown up. The cops had been called because they're like, hey, these guys can't park here. They know they're not supposed to park here, blah, blah, blah. Well, the fucking cops are just sitting there watching this brawl until the dude starts swinging the chair. Dude hits somebody in the head, just fucking clap, clap. He moves on to the next person. There's a chick, and I don't know what had happened. I think she punched somebody and got punched, knocked down, and he fucking just Mick Foley sends it. Just whack on the fucking head. It's perfect. By then the cops are like, hey, can't do that. And then people start getting arrested, and that's as far as
beat the Crocs off of the lady.
Oh my God!
Hey, we'll let you fight. Just don't use weapons.
There's a picture with her Crocs, and they're like, if you're watching
ankle.
on YouTube, they're like, yeah, they're way the fuck. The 4-wheel drive mode, 4x4 was not enough for them.
And that was just an advertisement for Robin's feet pick website. $20 a foot.
$20 a foot.
Yep.
Freakfoot.com.
Moisturizes.
Grabmystrongfoot.com.
Grab my trickfoot. Trickfoot.com.
Oh. Oh. So anyway,
so what's
So after all that happens, I see all these videos, and then all the fucking reaction videos coming
Try
in.
that in a small town.
Right?
So
Oh my god.
I saw a reaction video before I saw the actual video
Oh, okay.
because it was at a pool and it was a bunch of white and black dudes
I saw that
and
one.
and they're like one guy's holding a chair but he's just holding it in the air like running around, and then like one white dude's got this big black dude around the waist and the black dude's just doing this over his head, and it's just like it's like 5-on-5 white dudes versus black dudes and they're all just pretending that they're fighting.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I saw the Montgomery boat fight, the dock fight, and I was like, oh, okay. This is how quick the internet is. I saw the reaction before
you
I
saw
saw
the
Right.
action.
the story.
Yep. Well, that's how I found out. Like I just
How do you start that conversation though? Like, do you get a group of like your buddies and you walk over to a group of black dudes and you're like, hey, do you want to pretend to do the Montgomery brawl? Like, you guys are black, we're white. You want to
Well, I would assume
pretend
that
to fight?
some white people have friends that are also black,
What?
and so
Yeah.
that they can just talk in their friend group.
that's so weird. What?
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Why would that ever happen?
this was my own fantasy, is that they were getting ready for fantasy football, about to do their
Oh.
draft, and they're like, hey, I got an idea. You guys want to be in this? And they're like, fuck yeah, we do. just-
Yeah, whoever does the worst gets the last draft pick.
There you go.
I hope those pontoon boat owning motherfuckers got their fucking brakes
Have you
beat in.
seen
They
have you
got
seen,
the
like,
dog walked on
the
them.
one dude, like he's got both eyes are black, and he's like, well, I guess I shouldn't have parked there.
Yeah. I
So-
also hope that the cops just let them off because they just had a good old fashioned brawl.
I think other than the guy with the chair, probably what I saw on Tuesday is no charges had been filed.
Yeah, the guy with the chair
So-
might get an assault charge, but like all
But
things
again, it was a
considered,
plastic chair.
and
like
it's mute. It's still battery, but
Yeah,
like the cops will let them fight, and then a weapon came out.
yeah, it's mutual combat until then. It's like Seattle. The cops just basically if there's a fight, they just show up to like hockey refs and make sure nobody hits the ground.
Mm.
As soon as somebody
it
hits the
should be.
ground, they're like, all right, it's over.
All right, and fight's over.
Did we talk about Tim Anderson getting knocked out last week?
No, but
show? Since we're talking about fights,
in baseball.
No, that happened since we had
Okay,
our
yeah, it
show
did, it
last.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
I'm
that
pretty
was-
sure I sent that to both you guys.
that was fun.
It was
That
good
was
on the
enjoyable.
fucking.
You don't see a
Yeah.
lot of good baseball punches because those guys
No.
usually can't punch.
Well, so the shortstop, right? And I can't remember who it was.
Jose Ramirez.
No. Jose, he plays third base. No, he wasn't in the fight. He wasn't one of the two guys fighting.
Oh, I don't
Tim
know.
Anderson's the shortstop, and then Jose Ramirez. But there's another guy. He's been the teammate. He has seen the two best punches thrown in the last 10 years in baseball. When Raul Ibanez got socked right in the jaw. Do you remember that one?
He got
do.
clocked.
He just got, just rocked. So, and then, I gotta see that story now. I'll find it later.
Well, you're talking
yeah.
about that. Still, the best brawl of all time was when Nolan Ryan grabbed
I
Robin
was gonna say
Ventura
Nolan Ryan. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
started beating the
Mhm.
dog shit out of him.
Yep. I love me a good sports like football fights are lame to me.
Yeah,
Because they have helmets and all this padding, and what do you
That's your
actually
Miles Garrett.
like? You can go for body shots, but like you're a professional athlete, your core is strong. You can take it.
Yeah. Nobody's
Um,
getting hurt in a football fight.
Miles Garrett will rip your helmet off and then swing it at
Swing
you.
it at you.
But for the
Even
most,
then, helmets getting hit with a helmet doesn't hurt that much. They're
Yeah.
pretty giving. Like
especially professional sports
Right.
football helmets.
unless it's like a metal, you get hit with the face mask, but usually that's the handle. So
Yeah.
pretty safe.
that's what unless you like stick your finger in the ear hole.
Yeah.
Swing it.
I feel like you have more control and power though by.
Oh
holding
yeah,
the
you're gonna
face.
have definitely.
Oh,
more
absolutely. Yeah.
But so football fights I don't care about because I'm like it's mostly a lot of shoving, a punch thrown at a face mask for some reason.
It's always the best. They're like,
yeah, like when a
"Bro,
guy punches the face mask, I'm like, good job, idiot. You're
bro,
in
what are
pain
you
now.
doing? What are
Now-
you doing?
Now you are hurting.
You're an idiot.
The
hockey
the obvious exception to this being LeGarrette Blunt's punch.
Oh
So
yeah,
good.
post game.
Also, after the game,
yeah, But hockey has got to be hands down the best sport for fights because they
It's
go
a
out there, they
statistic.
take their gloves off, take off their helmets, and they're like, "Let's do this."
I've watched MMA fights that aren't as good as some hockey fights.
Well, I'm leaving MMA and boxing out
I
of it. 'cause
know. Oh.
That's fighting.
Did you guys watch the Nate Diaz and was it Jake Paul?
Nope.
Nope.
I watched it.
I figured Jake Paul would win, not because I think he's an amazing boxer, but because that's how these go.
And they're all fixed.
Yeah.
Well, yes, it's fixed, but I don't think Nate Diaz is the kind of guy who will. He didn't look like Nate Diaz when he fought. Like
Yeah.
some of the time he did, but like even just he just looks like he's Nate Diaz on vacation.
Yeah.
He
Like he
just-
wasn't there
he's
taking
like,
it seriously.
He barely made weight, and the weight that he made was 15 pounds heavier than every UFC fight he was at. Like, so he didn't care. He's like, I just made the biggest paycheck I've ever made.
Yeah, and that's what those
And
guys
now-
are there to fight
And
Jake Paul.
I'm gonna get hit with these fucking pillow fists that this kid is throwing.
He did get dropped, and I mean, like it looked like an actual punch that really dropped him. But again, it's Nate Diaz. You're not gonna really knock him out. It just doesn't happen. And then Paul challenged him to an MMA fight, and now before Diaz was like, "Fuck you, I'm not doing that." And after losing to him in boxing, he's like, "All right, bitch, let's fucking go." So I hope he does, because he will get in shape for that, and he will choke him out.
I did see
Unless
the
he
clip
gets a
where
big
Nate
fat
Diaz put him in
paycheck,
a
he'll take a
guillotine.
knee to the face.
Yeah, it was so good.
He had him in a guillotine with a boxing glove on.
Diaz will fuck him up in
Mhm.
a cage.
But I do like what's his name? God, I'm terrible with names tonight. Sports Center.
Dan Patrick.
No, black guy.
Stuart
Stuart
Scott.
Scott.
No, that Kevin Hart makes
Kevin
fun of.
Nagandi. Sage Steele.
I can't believe that there's.
Jamil Hill. Shannon Sharp.
Nope. He's really
Stephen
loud.
A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith. He always makes fun of the
Stephen A.
Cowboys.
Smith.
Yes, I nailed
Yeah.
it. First
I don't
try.
know. Yeah.
First try.
First try. His
Fucking
take.
Chael Sonnen over there.
Yeah.
Never lost a round.
Never lost a round.
I like his take. Like he went off on Jake Paul
Oh, did he?
the other day on the show. He was just like, he's like, you can't call yourself a
This-
boxer
This is despicable.
and fight retired
Right.
MMA fighters or basketball players or the guys that haven't fought in the octagon in a few years. And he's like, you can't call yourself. He's like, fight a boxer whose only job is to box.
Well, he did, and he lost.
Oh, he did?
He fought Tyson Fury's brother.
Oh, he lost
I
that
didn't
one?
watch that one.
Yeah.
I don't
A
watch
couple months
any of them.
ago.
I just look at the highlights.
What is Tyson Fury's brother's name? It's not Nick.
Dave.
Not Dave.
Dave Fury.
Dave Fury. Oh, what is his fucking name? I can picture him.
It's like Lomachenko.
Tyler Fury. Vinny
What?
Fury.
Tyler Fury makes me think of Tyler Perry
Siegfried.
as a boxer.
Yeah.
Tyler Fury.
But dressed
Coming
up
out as Medea.
as Medea, yeah.
Hello.
Have you guys watched any of the Twisted Metal on Peacock?
I did.
I watched all
almost
of
did.
it,
Ah,
dude. So I never even played the Twisted Metal games,
yeah.
but I know enough about it because the internet
It's
and
Twisted Metal.
and
It's
I-
part of our
and that
culture.
era.
We know enough. Yeah.
Really good show. Like I thought it was really good, and also don't go into it thinking you're gonna watch the next espionage, like some sort of really well written
It's fun.
action. It's fun.
It felt to me like, just from what I watched the first 3 episodes, like paid attention, and then I fell asleep and woke up at like episode 7. But from what I saw, it felt like a Marvel movie but made for TV, like, and not Disney Plus, like actual TV.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
It
from
was. I think, like I said, I'm excited for like second season if they decide to do it.
Yeah.
Which they totally set up for.
They nailed the look. Like,
Oh yeah,
looks perfect.
like yeah, the Subaru that Anthony Mackie drives
Mhm.
is pretty sweet, and then just the other car, Sweet Tooth.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Right. And then it has all the characters from the show, from the game. Not all of them, but plenty of them.
The sexy
Raffi,
ones.
Raffi from the League,
Hmm.
he's in it, and he plays the preacher from Twisted Metal. So it's good. I enjoyed it a lot. It's really fun. Cool car driving, fighting scenes.
What's the other one? Oh, I started. Have you guys seen that show Yellow Jacket? The Yellow Jackets, I think it is.
No.
It's on Paramount Plus. It's
Is that
got
about
Christina
soccer or
Ricci.
something?
Yeah, it's a soccer team, a high school soccer team that is like on a flight to go to nationals or something like that, and the plane goes down, and they're lost in the woods, and they don't get found for 19 months, and like the show bounces back and forth between them in the woods as teenagers and them 25 years later, and that's where you get Christina Ricci and Juliette Lewis is in it.
Oh, okay. So 25 years later, dealing with the aftermath.
Like the one chick is a politician, and it sounds like I'm only like 3 episodes in that they haven't really told people what actually happened out there, and you always get the feeling that there was cannibalism.
Yep.
And all sorts of stuff like
those
that.
Those girls ate the other girls, and not in the fun way.
Well, some of them did in the fun way too, I think.
I'm sure. I mean,
I'm just trying to figure out how for 19 months you couldn't find another human being.
That was my guess or my question too, because it feels like
it
looks
Yukon?
like it's in Alaska. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like they're deep in the woods in Alaska. So I don't know. There's
Okay.
bears and wolves, but where are you flying to nationals to and from that you're going over Alaska?
Like maybe they're gonna go play in Russian nationals.
Hopefully they don't have any weed on them.
No, it's
But one chick
vape
did.
oil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was over there for a while.
Yeah. She is. Oh god.
She probably ate some chicks too.
She most certainly did. Yeah, but anyway, the show's like, from what I've seen, it's good. It was a Showtime show, and then Paramount and Showtime. I think one of them owns the other. I think Paramount may own Showtime.
I think Paramount's the like great overarching like umbrella
Parent company kind of. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, see that on my Paramount, I thought I couldn't watch Showtime shows. Like I have to get a Showtime membership as well. Because some shows on.
Well, I'm watching it on your Paramount, so
yeah, that's why I was. That's why I was real. Shit, I better see if I'm getting charged for that shit now.
Because I have Showtime here, so if there's something that you have to add to it, then let me know and I'll throw it on.
Well, I assume, because every time I've clicked on something that had that little lock emblem or a Showtime emblem, I'm like, oh, I can't watch this. So it would have asked you to do something. So I guess so.
Knowing me, I may have just did it. I don't know. I just
have it be like, hey, press this button and you can watch this shit.
I want to watch this, and then I go
like, pay for it or something like that.
Yeah, sure, probably said I would have sign into your Showtime account to watch this.
Yeah, exactly. So
I also have the Showtime app, but I'm pretty sure I've been watching it on Paramount.
Huh.
No,
I'll find out tonight when I go home.
Yeah,
I'm so confused by all the apps these days, man. Like, what's on anything now?
It's a matter of time before they start collapsing and going back to just everything's going to be on TV again. Like, I think they're realizing it's unsustainable, and people are going to share passwords, and they hate it. They're like, we could get more money if we stopped the password sharing. And I'm like, no,
yeah, I'm sure you
get
could.
less. You get fewer viewers, is what you get, because people will stop watching your shit.
Ask Netflix. That's happened Netflix a few times. They're like, we're gonna stop
ask
password
Netflix
sharing, and then people are like, cool, I'm just not gonna watch anything on Netflix anymore. Like, we want the shows, we just don't want them that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Drive to Survive was cool, but my life is fine without it. You know, it should be, we should be gearing up for Last Chance U here, but you know, whatever. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they don't do that show anymore anyway.
I watched Hard Knocks with
Oh,
Aaron
the
Rodgers
Cardinals?
and the Jets. Jets. Jets.
Oh,
Jets.
I need to watch the new season.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't.
I've been watching the Cardinals from last season.
I've never watched Hard Knocks at all, ever.
Neither have I.
And so I was like, it popped up on there. I was like, I kind of want to see how Aaron Rodgers is doing. And it's the fucking Aaron Rodgers show.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I'm okay with it because the dude is actually entertaining.
Have you
So-
seen him and Sauce Gardner's handshake?
Yes, it's on the show. It's on the
Yeah.
episode.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw a clip of that. I must
Like,
have been
oh.
from Hard Knocks.
Yep.
It's like-
It is.
and then who is it they go up to and act like they're ashing on him?
It was one of the linemen. He's like,
Yeah, when they walk up and act like they're putting out the joints on him.
good stuff.
That's awesome.
I would walk up to him and act like I'm asking for ayahuasca.
Mhm.
That would be my handshake.
I'm sure they have their jokes.
Oh yeah.
There's one point, so like Aaron Rodgers is going. It's like early on in the episode. Like, do we need like a mic or something? They're like, no, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and like you really like nobody's mic'd up, and you hear everything. They get everything with the fucking boom mics and all that shit.
What are those the mics with the
Illuminati,
Yep,
Yes.
not shit.
parabolic.
Yeah, parabolic mics. I'm really glad I'm friends with you guys. You guys, I know things, but you know words.
We know what they're called.
You know what they're called. I'm like, hey, I know what this thing does and I know how it works, but you know what it's called, so I'll explain it, and then you'll say Stephen A. Smith on the first try.
First try, I nailed
First
it.
try.
First try. Oh, it's so good. So good.
So good.
How many days till tailgating?
Oh my gosh. Like 22
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
or 23. Pardon me. Haha.
Fucked it all up.
Tomorrow, nobody likes it when you're 23. So counting tomorrow would be 22.
Yeah.
Anyway, either way, it's fucking.
It's
coming.
not many.
Not many. No.
I need to get some tailgating funds going here soon.
Yeah, you do. What was
Right.
that?
A loogie.
Oh, I thought you got attacked by something.
Nope. A loogie,
right
and then
into
the
his mouth.
wind, blew up my paper, and it was like, whoosh, and I was like, get
I was
off
like,
there.
you son of a beach.
Son of a bee.
I look really shiny in this light.
You
That's
do.
just your sunglasses.
You're a little more tan than you have been.
Yeah.
You ain't man enough and you ain't tan enough to mess with Big Dave Deaton.
That I don't know why that reminded me. I saw Mo earlier.
Because
Oh,
Mo is a
Big
big
Mo.
person.
He is
Yeah.
a big person. I'm sitting there at the fair, and he walked by and he's like looking left and right. I'm like, Mo, and he's like, oh hey. I'm like, what are you
I
doing?
enjoy
He's
that
like,
we have these large
Bryce.
we have large Indian or Eskimo friends that we just scream their names out at them.
Yeah.
Motherfucking EJ.
And
Oh,
oh man, I can't wait for football to start.
so
It
Just-
really is the best. Like
The
people
best.
that don't tailgate, you're missing out.
If the people that don't tailgate, what are you doing with the
What?
first half of your Saturday?
What are your Saturdays? Like, what do you do
what do you do?
in the
out
fall?
with your family.
Because like when I don't have a game to go to, I go to the casino and I gamble on the game I can't go to.
I sit at home and watch it in silence because I can't be around people.
I
And
can't be
so
around anybody.
I don't want to be around them.
Like my conversation is the group chat, and half the time I don't even want to hear that.
Usually we stop after the first quarter. We get
Yeah.
excited at the start, and then we're like, all right, shut up.
Mm.
Nobody
talks.
Especially if if anything goes wrong, nobody talk.
It's like,
Nobody talk to me. Everybody change your energy to face the direction we're heading. Stop pointing the wrong way. Everybody sit down and shut the fuck up. We need to watch
God.
this football game.
my
Especially
fucking
once-
OCD is already coming back.
Especially once we realize who is on what timing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like who's ahead of who.
'Cause see, now I'm going to be behind, I'm pretty sure.
Don't send
So-
that text that says, "Oh my God."
The rule, like, we should establish a rule: no text until you see a replay.
Replay text only. Okay.
Yeah, like once it's a replay, then you can text, because it's usually by the time they do a replay, they've already
Right,
the play's
right.
been,
Mhm.
they're unpiling the boys.
The worst is being in my house where our TVs are on different time.
Oh, that's awful.
Mine has been ahead on everything in the last couple months, so I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna be good. And now my dad's gonna be pissed because I'm like, yeah, like doesn't matter what it is, I'm loud about it.
God damn it!
Motherfucker, throw better,
Throw it better.
man.
I, you know,
Have we talked
People-
about Oregon leaving the Pac-12? Yeah.
no, that happened on
We
like Monday.
text about it.
Jesus.
I feel like a
that's
lot's happened this week.
that's how
Yeah.
the news cycle is. Like,
Yeah.
that happened on Monday.
Right. It was like, was it you earlier that asked who's the Big 12 going to play against? And I said Bill Walton.
Yeah, yeah. A conference of champions.
I did see
Stands
something-
alone on top of the Sierra Madres, looking down on the Rose Bowl as we prepare to play Bill Walton against the Ohio State University, just outside of Youngstown, Ohio, the birthplace of Jerry Garcia, formerly of the Grateful Dead. I remember being on tour with the Grateful Dead for several years.
I'm looking to see like what people are saying or what Bill Walton is saying because
Well,
I don't think he said anything.
Bill Walton says,
Robin, I talked to you about that
apoplectic.
video where the guy's like, he's like, this is how the Big 12 is going to be separated. There's going to have an Eastern and a Western conference.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Big 12 and the Big 10 and the Pac-12, and then the winners of those will play in Pasadena. And let's just say they call it the Rose Bowl. And I was
I
like,
liked
wait,
it.
I think they did that already.
Well, I was thinking
Because
about it. It
I
was
got about
fitting on-
halfway through until I realized what was going on.
You're like, oh, wait a minute,
Wait,
hold on.
hold on.
Bill
This is-
Walton
it-
has not said a tweet since April 12th.
He's in the
So-
corner with a bag of weed, holding his knees and rocking back and forth.
Mushrooms, probably, at this point.
Right. I have you watched Winning Time?
I've
Did
watched
you watch
the,
last season?
most of the first season.
Okay.
Oh, second
so
season out?
the first episode came out Sunday. Yeah. It replaced Righteous Gemstones.
Okay.
Ooh.
Man, that's a good ass show too.
Righteous Gemstones, I'm about
Yeah.
halfway through season 3 on that.
Gotcha. That's a good one.
I'm slowly but surely catching up on everything that I was supposed to catch up on. Like,
You know
all
what's
the
funny
threes.
is you catch up on stuff when your life is less stressful. I've noticed that. Like, I at least the way I see it, you are in a better frame of mind. Does that make sense?
Maybe more
when you
open
were-
to
I just think you don't have a direct like person hovering over you at work all day, and it makes you more free everywhere else.
that could be.
He's the one that hovers.
Mhm.
I am the one who hovers.
I am the one who hovers is the name of the episode.
Yeah, it was funny. Like, I drove down to Portland today for no fucking reason. But while I was down
Oh,
there,
is that what the confirmation text was about?
Yeah. So I was down there, but while I was down there, I ended up like making several phone calls and sending several emails and getting a lot of shit done while I was there. And I realized, as I was saying, like, oh yeah, I'm in management. I am management.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am the big baller shot caller. And I realized, do you know where Stanwood is?
Sounds familiar.
Dave does. So as far as exits go, Seattle, my exit to go to where I live is about 156.
Okay.
Stanwood is 216. So it's basically Canada.
That's
So-
further north than that where I was.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
further north than Dave. That's like another hour north of Dave. So we have jobs that far north, and the warehouse in Portland I saw today has jobs in Corvallis. So my region stretches basically from Canada to Corvallis.
That's like half the country,
Yeah.
like top to bottom.
Yeah. I'm like, there's nobody in 2 states who can tell me shit.
Yeah. Hey, give me a job in Corvallis.
You want a job in Portland? I can fire one of these dickheads I just hired.
No, I gotta live in Corvallis.
Well, you can live in Corvallis and just commute. That's what they're gonna ask these fucking guys to do. The
Yeah.
jobs in Corvallis, they gotta drive an hour and a half from their home in Portland to get to work.
Dang. I
Then
remember
After
working
living
in
in
Salem
Marysville
when I
and
lived
working in
Corvallis.
living in Marysville and working in Seattle, longest commute I've ever had. And I was just like, after 10 months, I'm like, nope, I'm done.
That's the weirdest thing is I don't understand why people who don't live in Seattle get jobs in Seattle.
Right?
Because they don't make that much more money and they spend a lot of time in the car.
Yeah.
And the amount of time spent in the car could probably be replaced by not making $2 more an hour.
Yep. And that's what I took a pay cut so that I didn't have to drive to Seattle every day. Or ride the bus, because the company wouldn't pay for parking.
Right. That
So
shit's stupid.
I parked in Linwood and rode the bus every day. So my commute every day was like 4 hours
Jesus.
Fuck that.
on top of the day my work day.
Hard pass.
Right.
Just like the conferences said to Oregon State.
Oh my God. That fucking school. They're so mad.
Wait, so every conference has told Oregon State no?
Like the
basically.
AAC is the only one that's been like, hey, we'll let you join us, and they're like, no. Do we have an option? No. Can we say no?
Like, do you want Oregon State in the Atlantic Coast Conference?
That's just wild, man.
So Oregon State's going to become the new Notre Dame?
Well, minus the everything.
Yeah, minus the good.
I like the idea that Chip said the other day, and I had said it. I didn't realize Chip said it too. But basically, just keep football. Let football do what it wants, conference-wise, and keep the conferences the way they are for everything else.
Yeah.
Because Oregon softball doesn't need to go play Maryland.
And Maryland doesn't need to come play Oregon.
USC baseball doesn't need to play Rutgers. UCLA gymnastics doesn't need to go to Penn State.
Mm-hmm. And
like, there's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Didn't he also bring up football's the only sport that plays once a week?
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is like, you might have 2-3 games in 1 week. So traveling is going to be such a bigger hassle.
And he was talking about
go halfway across the country.
And
no, all the way now.
Commercial.
All the way, yeah.
And they got to fly commercial. Our closest road game other than Washington is Nebraska. Well, I'm sorry, other than the West Coast.
The West Coast. Yeah, other than the West Coast. Yeah, Nebraska is the closest. That's just nuts.
Hey, let's go to Nebraska. I got an aunt.
I'm okay with it for football. Like, I'm not super excited about it, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. But yeah, like, just that's what they need to do. Keep the Pac-12 network for all that shit. Keep the pay the same minus football, which probably is nothing. But I don't know. Maybe even maybe make a network. Get some sort of network deal for those schools. I don't know.
Yeah, something that's maybe not Apple TV.
See, I don't understand the problem with Apple TV. I guess it's just
because what they wanted to do is it would have been an additional subscription in addition to Apple TV.
Right, but Apple TV is only $5 at the most. They're not going to say, hey, in addition, it's going to be double. Like, that doesn't make sense. So what's it going to be, like $9 a month? $8 a month? That's less than when I went and had Dish, because that was the only option I had to watch Pac-12.
Yeah, Pac-12 fucking sucks.
Dish was
everything.
At the end before we got rid of it. Our last bill was like $170 a month, so that we could have Pac-12. We didn't even have like HBO or Showtime or any of the other shit. It was just that's how much it had to be to get Pac-12.
Yeah, we have Comcast and they do our internet and TV, so it's a bundle.
Yeah.
But
Which is great if you're in an area that has that option.
yeah. But Pac-12 Network is still ass. Still sucks.
It's
We
not
just
great.
we won the first Pac-12 championship and got to win the last one.
Yep.
Bookend it properly.
I like it. Pac-12 Network really, like, I don't know why, but when I put it on, it reminds me of going to like Buy Mart or Pay Less.
Yes.
That's
Big
that's
Buy
what
Mart
I
energy.
get. Yeah.
But,
Buy
yeah,
I
Mart
do
Network.
enjoy their 60 and 60 thing. Or
I like
football and
those.
60.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I really
so they
enjoyed
never
the
show
football.
Oregon winning.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because they started that when I was in California, when I was still living in California, I believe. Because so I could, was it before or right after? But I just remember I'd be in my car heading home, and then I could get out and then watch games on. I can watch the week's worth of games really quick, not really quick, but in a short
an
amount of
4.5
time.
hours.
Yeah, in
Like,
an hour, because I
just
was
the
like, I can
game
watch,
time.
I can
Yeah.
in the amount of time it takes to watch one game live, I could watch 4 games, and see what actually happened in the conference, as
Yeah.
opposed to just watching one and then reading the rest.
It's true.
When I get super into game mode, I'll have like 4 games on that I'm watching all at the same time, and like I'll be clocking like TV breaks and stuff in my head. Like, okay, this TV break's going to be about 2.5 minutes long. This game's on third down. This game's on first down. This game's just got on first down. Oh, injury on this one. I can leave this one for about 2.5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
that's when like the science behind watching 4 games at once.
Mm.
Like, I can do it. My dad is god awful at it. He
My
cannot.
dad's the same. He's
Every time he comes in as they're showing the replay of the play that just happened.
Mm.
He's like, what happened? What happened? I'm like, I don't know. Just stay on a fucking game.
Right. Last year when I was up in Portland visiting a buddy of mine before a game, I went up there Friday night, hung out with him, and then Saturday morning sitting in my hotel room. Hotel room had 2 TVs. I had my laptop and my phone, so I had one game on one TV, one game on the other. My laptop had a game and my phone had a game, and I'm just like, I still got like 5 hours before I even need to start driving to Eugene. So I just sit there, start
pounding coffee, watching football.
right?
Yeah.
I called down the lobby. I'm like, hey, can I get the late checkout? They're like, yeah. I was like, can I get the late checkout?
Can I get I'm a veteran? Can I get a late checkout?
Yeah.
Right.
They're like, how late are you thinking? I was like, well, I'm going to the Ducks game, so I don't need to leave here until like 2.
6:30.
Yeah. She's like, well, can you be out of the room by 1? I'm like, yeah, I can make that happen.
Like,
That's
I can have my shit out of here, but can I
Right.
still watch
Can
football?
I just need a TV or 2.
Yep.
Can,
Well, and then
can I just hang out? Can I hang out in the lobby? Is that cool?
And then I went down to the bar and
There you
was
go.
getting drinks, and I took out my wallet, and the lady's like, what room are you in? And I was like, oh, this is that kind of establishment. Okay. Okay.
69.
You're like 420.
Right. So I got my drinks, and I found out I didn't have to pay for any of them because I paid for them the night before when I was checking into my room, and I didn't realize that there was like $100 extra fee.
Oh.
'Cause
That's like your food stipend.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, you get the money back if you don't use it. I'm like, oh.
Huh.
I was like, God damn, it's fancy,
That's
You guys
that
just
sounds like the
assume I'm going
fucking
to eat $100
dream.
worth of food.
right? And they were right because I got like a pizza and then a bunch of alcohol.
But they were right.
Oh.
I was like, you know me better than I know myself, there, DoubleTree.
Like, I was hoping for quadruple tree. We
Yeah.
were almost there.
Oh, either we're having sex or I'm having sex.
But, these people, they could have been anywhere in the world, but they're here with us. We appreciate that. Make sure you're watching us on YouTube for the full pre-show version. Make sure you're checking us out on Spotify for the audio and the regular version. Check out definitelynotsellingdrugs.com for not drugs. Definitely.
No drugs.
No drugs being sold there. But for this edition of my show, good night, universe.
That's a podcast.
Go Ducks.
Backshots.info.
Backfeet.info. No.
Pigfeet.info.
Yeah.
You got a pretty mouth.
You guys are pretty big.
Wheel for me.
Wee!
check out definitely not selling drugs.com.